Hello. Lately I've been reflecting on how am I making a difference in this world as we approach the 10th anniversary of our country's tragic event, as well as my own personal experience. I feel like I have come full circle. 10 years ago, I made a promise to myself that I would use my life in a way that serves the higher good. You see, back then, I was an intensely driven, type A person who had climbed the corporate ladder quickly. And I was at the pinnacle of my career because I was implementing ERP and CRM systems worldwide. So I traveled throughout Asia, Europe, and the US, and in many ways I had it all. I had success in business with an Ivy League degree to back it up. I had lucrative financial rewards. I was happily married, and I was still young. But then, on September 11th, 2001, everything changed. Although I wasn't directly affected by a personal loved one who had lost their life, several of my colleagues were. And as I watched Flight 11 crash into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, my initial thought was that could have been me. Suddenly, everything that we did on a daily basis paled in comparison. And I started to think about my life in a much deeper way. Now, although September 11th was my initial awakening, the events of October 15th, 1 month later, had even a greater effect on my outlook. That morning, I was working from home. It was 9:15 a.m. I was still dressed in my pajamas, and I was on the phone with my husband, urgently describing to him an issue or crisis that we were having at work. Suddenly, I heard the doorbell ring downstairs, and I said to my husband, "Oh, the doorbell's ringing, but I'm not going to answer it." I did, while I was talking to my husband, walk over to our bedroom window, and from there I could look out and I could see the man with the clipboard walking back to his car along our sidewalk. So I said to my husband, "Okay, he's gone," and then I continued on. Well, moments later, I heard the piercing sound of glass breaking downstairs. I said to my husband, "Oh my God, he's in our house." Within seconds, this robber had climbed the stairs and we were facing each other eye to eye in my bedroom. Now, my husband had already hung up the phone to call the police, and I was still holding the phone in my hand, and I cried, "Help me." I was hoping that the robber would assume that it was the police on the other end of the line. Now, it was obvious that this man was high on drugs. His energy was very quick and scattered, and he wasn't completely with it. So, in that moment, it was obvious that he was thinking what he was going to do, and fortunately for both of us, he made the choice to turn around and leave. And he ran back down the stairs, ran out our front door, got back into his car, and sped away. Fortunately, as he was leaving, I was able to write down the license plate number. And about 3 weeks later, he was caught, and ultimately he served 3 years in jail. The The good news is that I wasn't harmed in any way on that day. I could have been raped or I could have been killed, but instead I had survived this event with nothing more than a thriving headache and trembling hands. But for a week, if not longer, I felt as if I was plugged in to some kind of charger and my system was on overload. I was hyper vigilant and my five senses were heightened, and my sixth sense had somehow awakened. The even better news is that this event spawned a major transformation in my life. It was as if I had escaped an early ending to my life and I was now living on borrowed time, so I could no longer accept the status quo. 3 months later, I quit my job. 9 months later, we sold our second home out on the Cape, and a year later, we moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. And I opened my practice, Inspiring Hearts, and for the past decade, I have been helping others transform their lives through spiritual coaching, workshops, and lectures. But then 3 years ago, I still had a heartfelt desire to touch even more lives. So after co-facilitating a group to help people find purpose and fulfillment in their lives, my business partner, Eileen Faye Oliva, and I felt divinely inspired to co-found Lights On, which is an online educational portal for finding purpose and awakening destiny. Since launching Lights On 11/11/2009, we have reached 85 countries and have attracted several thousand fellow journeyers. So we can honestly say that globally people are finding more peace, balance, and success in their lives due to Lights On. So how have I come full circle? Well, there's satisfaction in knowing that cherished promise I made to myself 10 years ago, I am in the process of fulfilling now. And I truly hope that not only am I making a difference in this world, but I know that there are thousands, if not millions, of other people who have the heartfelt desire to do the same. And now my desire is to connect with those people who have the same heartfelt desire so that we can together make a difference that will forever positively influence this planet.